to know if it holds true or ever held true that spaying and neutering really prevents reproductive cancer. Well, that's exactly one of the reasons I have Dr. Tara Timpson. She's on Sunday, and you definitely want to pay attention to that, JFL. It's a eye-opening conversation, and Tara's a dear friend of mine that works at Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in Utah. And of the millions of animals that go through their facility, they, how can I say, she's become an expert in doing the ovary sparing spay for dogs and vasectomies. So our conversation, of course, was centered around that and the studies that came out of Davis. And there was a study 20 years ago looking at golden retrievers. You remember this, Jeff? Excuse me. That showed that the incidence, and I have a blog about this, I don't know if you do, Jeff, but it showed that the incidence of pretty much what we thought was true wasn't. That actually early spay and neutering was harming the animals, was causing more susceptibility to cruciate repairs and hip dysplasias and even cancers. And then they did a 20-year follow-up, and you can get this study online. I can't remember the name of the website, but it's University of California, Davis, and you can look up golden retriever 20-year perspective. I don't even know what it would say, probably spaying and neutering, I think something like that. And so anyway, we had a great conversation about that. There's lots of good information in there. So I'm not a proponent of that. I like to wait at least till the long bones close. The long bones at the ends of our bones, there's a growth plate that has to close. And for some of the large dogs, they don't close till about 3 years, something like that, right, Jeff? And,
yeah.
But what I love is keeping these animals intact not only helps the development of their bones, but it also helps the development of the brain, because hormones soak our brain. The female hormones allow for the female brain to develop, and the male hormones allow for the male brain. So if you want a perpetual puppy, spay them early. They're never going to be as healthy as you like. But if you want the healthiest, most robust animal, then definitely let them keep their gonads intact, or do the ovary sparing spay or the vasectomy. And again, we don't want to go into that in detail because Tara and I went into it, but it's pretty fascinating when you think about it. There's just so many wonderful options. The other one point, let me just say, and then I'll see what comments you have. And I've done a fair amount of research on this. When the hormones come into like maximum fruition, right at about puberty, they supercharge the immune system. Because if you think about it, if the immune system wasn't intact when a wild dog was 6 months old, they couldn't procreate, and they wouldn't be able to have a decent immune system to basically be out there in the world. They would still be like humans, dependent on their parents. And that's not the way the world is for our dogs and cats in the wild. So it's in my mind, it's critical for the development of all kinds of things, their muscles, their bones. I have an intact male cat right now. He's about 9 months old, and I'm trying to see how long we can go. I've talked to him. If he has bad behavior, we're going to do something. But because he is so robust and is just continues to develop, and I can tell that his little brain is getting smarter as he's learning how to hunt mice. And
Awesome.
Anyway, Jeff, what do you have to say about that question?
Well, I concur with everything you said, and I guess the proof is in the pudding, in that our animals are all rescues, but the female kitty, and female cats can come to heat every couple weeks. It's the only one that we got a number of years ago unspayed. She's still unspayed.
Cool.
12 years of age.
Awesome. Very good. I love to hear this. See, we don't even think it's possible, because the mentality now is you got to do it. You got to do it. Now, I'm not talking about, oh my gosh, we're going to go down this slippery slope, aren't we, with animals that are rescued? 'Cause all my animals have always been rescued, and they've all been spayed and neutered way too early. My
Yeah.
17-year-old she went through 3 shelters. She was done at 5 months.
Yeah.
So, and she's still 17. That's pretty good, and been robust most of her life. So, but she never had any other things done to her either. So this is something we have to really look at. And that's what Dr. Tara and I talked about, the health compromises. She told me once, I wish I had taken pictures of all the animals that were spayed early or neutered early, and then taken pictures of them at 1 year and 2 year, and the difference in the animals that have kept their resources longer. And remember, if you elect to do anything like a ovary sparing spay or a vasectomy, you can always undo it. You can always do another surgery if it's not working. If you don't like the fact that they still get a enlarged vulva, or the males still think that they're hot tamales, you can always, they're not going to get anybody pregnant, but you can always do the surgery. The other way around doesn't work. So I don't know about you women out there, but I'm going to date myself. Going through menopause, I wish I had a few more hormones. Maybe not all of them, but those hormones are important. They're really critical. So keep them as long as you can. Don't just do something blatant just because everybody's doing it. Just really watch your animal. Pay attention. In other countries, they don't even think about neutering their animals. And I mean, these are owned animals. These aren't just animals on the street. These are people, care for these, and they never think about removing their gonads. This is a cultural thing here. Anyway.
And
Okay.
that's actually where I was going to go. With Dr. Sarah Fox Chapman studied homeopathy over in the UK. They do not. I mean, she did a fabulous spay and neuter course that looks at all these options, but like you just said, they do not even consider, gonadectomy over there.
Yeah. No. Why? Why would you do that? They look at us going, oh my God, why would you do that to your animal?
Are you curious about a more holistic approach to your dog's health? In the next video, Dr. D. Blanco will discuss the benefits of homeopathy for dogs and how to transition. Click to watch now.